Call the meeting of the Newbury Historical Commission to order on Thursday, September 14th, 7:02 p.m. Start out with Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Minutes from last meeting. Straight in the way.
It's you have to flip up instead of over. I wasn't going to redo it.
Any corrections, omissions, or errors in the minutes? Do I hear a motion to accept as written? And a second, please.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. No treasurer's report?
I have them, but would you want to just do?
We'll just get through correspondence. We'll just get this stuff out of here. All right, then we'll stop afterwards.
Treasurer's report. Jesse sent me 3 of them. We have.
You just give us the highlights.
Well, we're just starting, so he deposited $450 from the, I'm assuming, the schoolhouse.
Good.
And expended $900, probably for the restrooms and stuff. And everything else is there for the rest of the year. $6,800 and almost $50 is available, so.
Okay.
Okay.
I hear a motion to accept as reported.
I move that we accept the treasurer's report as reported.
Second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Website report.
I got his, but then we have some corrections from Ms. Jan, so I'm sure we'll get a quick update. And then it'll be on the website.
That's on the Indigenous add-on.
Yeah,
Good.
it was really nice.
And then there's a new IT guy in town. I actually met him today when I picked up the camera. So he seems readily available for whenever we switch over and stuff. We discuss that a little bit, things like that. Jay basically just warned him.
Yeah.
Just to let you know that I'm gonna need you one afternoon or whatever. So we talked about that.
For what do we?
For just to like when I'm ready to launch the new one and to make sure I take down the old one correctly and it's all launched. There's no,
Okay.
I don't wreck it by trying to do it. So I don't want to do that.
It'll still be a domain that we're.
It'll be like
paying
our
for.
website. Yeah, I'm just gonna relaunch it on that,
Yeah.
so it's mine.
That's fine. That's
But
fine.
I'll have him help me. Basically, is the point.
We'll stop there and meet with Paul. Why don't you come on in?
Paul Perkins.
Paul Perkins.
Introduce yourself for the camera, just in case there's anybody else.
My name's Paul Perkins. I live at 85 High Road, Newbury.
And we're here to review and give insight on the preservation restrictions on 85 High Road. So, since you've gotten a copy of them,
Yes.
you've been able to review. I read it all. It's fairly straightforward. What can be done, there's actually a section in there, what's supposed to be getting done
Right.
also. So basically, as you start, when you come up with a plan, run it back by us. But everything, it's basically, we can't change this. We're here to understand it and interpret it. There's not much changes in there. So it'll be close to whatever's written on there.
Okay, so basically, you know, just, I'm talking straightforward here, I'm not being argumentative, but, so the bottom line is, this is never going to change. That's the simple, basically what you're telling me.
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
Now, I'd like to know why.
Because that's the way the grantor wrote it.
Okay. So, this was written in 2006 and signed off on January of 2007, and the notary expired August of 12. I know that doesn't really matter much, but, so at the time, you know, when this thing was signed, first of all, for the record here, you know, everything is in my father's name. You know, I'm here to represent him because, you know, you guys do not want him here. He's just very difficult to deal with. He's, you know, has some issues. He's you know, from Vietnam, and some mental health issues, so whatever. But anyways, so that's what I'm here for, and I couldn't even make any decisions, even if you guys gave me carte blanche to do whatever I want. It's still out of my hands. But as it is, you know, the house is falling apart, the outside of it, and, you know, there's certain parts of the house, especially that are major problems, okay? There's a walkway right below the second floor windows, okay? And since I was a kid, I would go up there and I would, you know, sweep out the gutters. Now, I absolutely cannot do that, and I will not do that because there's holes, it's all rotted around. All these, all these little fancy little decorations that are all around the house, you know, all that type of stuff right there, I can assure you that those will never be replaced, ever. It will not happen. You know, and it's just, there's also, you know, I have pictures here of the type of stuff that is going on that I wanted my father to deal with, but he will not because he's concerned about the Historical Society, okay? I mean, you can see the front of the house, okay? This is right on High Road, okay? And I'm telling you, I know the neighbors don't want this type of thing to be going on. You know, they're paying, you know, massive amounts of money to live in Newbury, okay? They don't want this at all, okay? You can see everything's all rotted up here, there's flashing that's been put up there,
So
okay?
you wanna fix it?
Right, what do you wanna see?
What do I want to, what I want is I want to be able to tell my father that I will handle repairing this, okay? But I'm not going to be handcuffed to the Historical Society on what needs to get
It
done.
needs to just,
Before
yeah.
we go any further,
Mhm.
we're a historical commission.
Okay.
And it may not seem like it means anything, but we're part of the town government.
Yeah.
As opposed to like the historical society that's up the street in the Cushing House, which
Okay.
is like a totally different venue.
Right, okay, yeah,
Just
I didn't
so-
mean any disrespect or
No, no,
anything
just
like that
because
towards
people
you
We
don't
guys.
want
yeah.
to, we want to preserve all the houses, so
Right.
we're, you know, we're just concerned about the materials that are used
Yeah.
and that it looks as close to it as possible. You'd be surprised, and you could probably save a lot of those corbels, things like that. Like, once you get up there, there's lots of ways to do it, it's just a matter of
You're not
doing
strapped
it. Yeah.
as far as
Yeah.
doing anything improvements. on the outside of that house.
Well, so I had talked, when I went to the town hall, I spoke to the building commissioner, he came out and was talking to me, and I said to him basically, so if I decide I want to do something to the house to repair the house, you know, I present it to you, and he says, I'm not even gonna look at it, I'm gonna deny it, and then it goes to you people. That's exactly what he told me. So, you know, like I
That's
said.
just because we wanna know whenever anybody does anything, so that's just a process.
Right.
And it's also because it's a preservation, the whole thing is because there's a
Yeah.
preservation
Right.
restriction that was placed on the property, and it was placed on the property so that the property could be subdivided into 2 lots.
Right, I understand all that,
So
yeah.
he understood it at the time.
He did, even though he
Yeah,
wasn't
but
in
he's-
sound
From what I
mind.
understand, he's
Yeah.
under the impression he's not allowed to touch the
Yeah,
house.
no,
No,
we want you to
I-
fix it, we want you to save it.
Right, I understand that, but there's also, you know, there's financial stuff here that's involved in it, and, you know, my parents do not really have the type of money.
There's funds available to a house that has a preservation restriction like this home.
Okay, I mean, I was not aware of that, and, you know.
Not like state funds.
Right. But, so here's the thing, so, you know, I tried with the Massachusetts put out some program, I can't remember, some green program for some type of interest-free loans for windows and heating system, I can't remember what the name of that was. And he wouldn't even do that, you know, he wouldn't do that because he's just, you know, basically, he doesn't want massive stuff, changes, stuff being, you know, done to the house, whatever. But, you know, what I've been trying to get with him, all around the windows, how they come out up the top, these stick out, okay, they're all rotted, this whole thing. I'm not trying to change, like, you know, if I was allowed by my father to do stuff like, you know, vinyl siding, you know, I want to put vinyl siding on
No.
the
Yeah,
house.
see, that's
That's
not
not-
gonna happen.
Yeah.
That's, yeah.
Right.
You don't want,
Okay,
you don't want a
But-
vinyl siding.
So
Right.
it sounds like you kind of need to have a little bit more control over the property, and not your father.
Well, yeah, but that's, you know, that's,
That's the only way we'll be able to deal with it.
right. But, you know, it
I mean, I'm sure
basically,
there's some preventative measures you can do in the time being so things don't rot.
I mean, a lot of things are like materials.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we just wanted to look
So
as
like,
close
like
as
the roof,
possible.
I understand up by the cupola
Yeah.
is a regular roof,
Asphalt.
just a regular asphalt.
It's not the slate
So
that's
that's-
outside.
So,
Well,
that's all
right.
right.
This is not
This
slate or
isn't
those
slate,
shingles?
it's shingles, isn't it?
right, it is
Just
shingles,
regular
yes.
shingles.
Yep,
Oh,
those,
okay.
yep.
Because it's
Can't
hard to tell unless you're in front of the house. Because I just took these the other day on the
Right.
way home to Hall,
Yeah.
actually.
All right,
So-
okay, so, yeah, so like I said, so the vinyl siding, okay, that's
Right.
something. If I can just look at this real quick, so, you know, if I wanted to just like, you know, at some point, just get rid of this little walkway around there, I mean, that's not gonna totally deface the house from what it looks like.
Yeah, keep that there.
Yeah,
It would-
all right,
I think
So-
realistically, I mean, what are the materials that he could use, just so he has more of an understanding of what he's allowed to do? I mean, you know.
well, I'm not concerned about what type of materials to use, that's like the least of my concern here.
Well, I mean, it's just rebuilding basically.
It's
in
absolutely, the whole thing needs to be redone, okay? So the materials are irrelevant, that's not the issue that I'm here about. I could care less what materials they use, honestly, I mean, has nothing to do with anything. I'm talking about, like, the walkway around there, okay, that's, you know, that is a massive project to be able to
Are
just.
you up here or down here?
I am here on this walkway that goes around. On this side, there's holes all around that, okay? These windows, they stick out,
Yep.
okay?
Impediments, yep.
Yeah, and it's all rotted, there's leaks that are traveling everywhere. You know, fine, I could put a new roof on that eventually, but these, you know, with these windows sticking out, it's just wood that has just been, it's all rotted. And like, you know, to put in new windows, you know, you can't even put in these type of windows, you know,
It's better to keep them
you
wood.
know, yeah. I mean, I'm just saying, so, you know, this is what I'm here to discuss, but, you know, again, you know, listen, you know, my father, he signed it, and, you know, that's it, so if there's, you know, basically, it has to mirror.
Would you be doing it?
Yeah.
I'm not a builder, but I've tried to talk to my father, okay, to let me take over the house as far as